Hello everyone, thanks and welcome to joining me for my Instagram live today. If you've seen my post and my emails, you know that today's live is about discovering what lesson your soul is learning. And not just what lesson your soul is learning, but what lesson do you need to focus on now so you're not dragging or taking that lesson with you in 2020. So the way I'll do the lives is you can just raise your hand and let me know if you want a personal reading, and I'll do one specifically for you. I'll also be sharing a few tips that you can use for creating a big shift in 2020. You know, if you feel like you're ready for a big shift, if you feel that you've been stuck for a while, well, I'll share some tips for that. And at the end, I'll also do a couple of general readings because I know a lot of people focus on or they want answers or guidance on creating more abundance. So I'll do a general reading for that. And then I'll also do one for romance relationships because that's another big focus for a lot of people. So I'm going to look for the names at the bottom of the screen. If I don't call on you, just type it in because sometimes the comments go so fast I can't see. So the first one I see is Hey, Kenza! This is a woman that I love so very much. She's so sweet. I just really adore her. So, Kenza, I'm going to start with you first. And again, this is the lesson for you to focus on right now. And that way you're not feeling challenged by it in 2020. And I'll give you a few tips also for how to resolve that lesson, how to go through that lesson a little bit more quickly. Not that you necessarily want to rush through things, because some lessons, if you don't really learn them, they'll just keep showing up again and again, and nobody wants that. So let me grab my cards here and see. One right off the top is jumping at me, so I'm not even going to shuffle. Let's see what this one says. Okay, the lesson that's coming up is grief. And this card has variable meanings. What it says is, I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. And what that means is you are at a stage in your life where some things are going to be falling away, or perhaps it's time for you to move away from some things so that you can open the doors to happy new beginnings. Now, the reason that this is perhaps coming up as a lesson for you is that maybe you're feeling trapped or stuck, or maybe you're afraid to move forward into new beginnings. And the lesson is that sometimes, it's okay to let go and welcome the new. Doing so can bring about feelings of anxiety because stepping into the unknown, it can be a little bit scary. So what I would suggest is to always call on your angels and ask them for guidance along the way. If you're not sure what kind of guidance they're providing, and this goes for anyone, when you call upon the angels, if you're not sure if you're hearing them correctly, you can say something like, "Dear angels, God and the angels, universe," however you want to say that. "Please give me a clear sign that I can easily see and understand." And then look for the signs around you. Those signs can come to you in the form of maybe you're driving and there's a billboard with some words on it that really speak to you, or you may see a license plate that really speaks to you. It might have some words on it. I've had that happen to me multiple times. And another thing that the universe will do is it will send people into your life who may recommend a book. Then you'll go maybe to work and someone there recommends the same book, and it's like, oh, okay, I think I need to check out that book. So look for the signs. Stepping into the unknown can be scary. You can call upon also Archangel Michael for safety and protection as you make your transition. Okay, so let's see who else would like a reading. Mamas. Oh, hi, Danielle, another lady that I love so much. Let's see what the angels or the spirit guides want you to know about the lesson that you need to be focused on right now, so you're not dragging into it or feeling overly challenged by it next year in 2020. All right, let's see. And your lesson, Danielle, is acceptance. And the message reads, I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Now, that lesson can be a little bit challenging because maybe there are things in your life that you don't like the way that they are and you want to change them. It doesn't mean that you're going to say, oh, okay, this is just the way it is and I'll just accept it. Sometimes it just means acknowledging that this is the way that things are. And not only what I'm getting is, not only is it about just acknowledging, okay, I acknowledge that this is the way things are and that I can change them. But what I'm getting from this card for you also is, it's about accepting parts of yourself or something about yourself that you've been rejecting. So when you can accept what's happening, acknowledge it, and learn from it, that thing or that situation won't have such a strong hold over you. So what I would suggest for you is to maybe sit in quiet contemplation, maybe in meditation or with a journal, and just write whatever comes to your mind and your heart about acceptance. What is it that I need to accept right now? What is it that I need to acknowledge in my life right now? Okay, so you're very welcome. I appreciate you too, Danielle. Okay, and Shampoo Baby 922. Let's go ahead and get a message for you as well and find out what lesson your beautiful soul is learning right now that you need to focus on. And let's see what comes up for you. Okay, so you can't make this stuff up. Okay, this is the same message that came up earlier for Kenza, and it's about the lesson of grief. I'm going to read to you again what this message says. And it reads, I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So this might be, again, about you. There's something that you need to let go of. Maybe you're feeling regretful about it. But in the grand scheme of things, it's really about just you're willing to let go. And when you let go, you're opening the door for new and often better opportunities to come into your life. Maybe this can go for everyone as well. Maybe it's a relationship that has run its course and it's time for you to let go. Maybe it's a job that you've outgrown. And when those things happen, instead of holding on to them, it's time to let go. If you're not sure, again, ask the universe for clear signs about your next steps. Because there's a wonderful quote that I learned from Les Brown that says, let go or be dragged. That can sound like a harsh thing, but it's really about when you continue to hold on to something, then you feel like the universe is just dragging you through life. That's because you're holding on for dear life. So invite the universe into your plans. Ask them to smooth your path ahead. You can also call upon the angel Shanti, Shanti, that helps you to bring peace and tranquility into your life. And also Archangel, or rather Angel Azrael, who helps with creating, who helps you to transition from one chapter of your life to the next. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for you. Oh, hi, Stephanie. I just met this beautiful woman. You might have seen a post that I made when I met her just a few days ago. She's amazing, awesome, wonderful, go-getter. She puts in the work to make things happen, and I just really adore and admire people like that. So let's see what lesson your beautiful soul is learning right now. All right, Stephanie, let's see what comes up for you. And the lesson is forgiveness. How often do we hear about forgiveness? And I'm going to talk about that for a little bit. First, let me read the words on this card. It says, I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So forgiveness, I like to say that forgiveness is not about saying that what the other person did is okay. It's about loving yourself enough to let go of the toxic feelings and emotions that are dwelling in your psyche, because that can manifest in physical form, meaning in physical illness. I've seen where people have developed, pain in their body as a result of unforgiveness. I'd also like to add that forgiveness is or can be about forgiving yourself for what you think you've done or not done. And this is there's so many ways to work on forgiveness. It can be a difficult thing for some people. And if this lesson has come up for you, not just Stephanie, but for anyone else right now, there's so many ways to work on this. One angel that I recommend working with is Archangel Uriel, Uriel. Uriel is known as a psychology angel, and he can help you with healing your emotions. So you can call upon him to help you through this process. This is another instance where you can write about your feelings as a way of anything that you've been holding on to. It's a way of releasing that which you've been holding on to internally. Getting it down on paper. Get out all the feelings, maybe even the angry words or the bad words that you've been holding on to. Then, when you're done writing out those words, you can do what's known as a ceremonial burning, which means that you literally burn that paper, and it's a symbol of, I'm done with this, I'm letting it go, I'm giving it up to the universe. So that's one way that you can move through the process of forgiveness. And I'll share with you a quick little story as well. If you've ever read the book My Stroke of Insight by Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, she, at a very young age, or at an unusual age, she had a stroke. And this is someone who is a neuroanatomist. She studies the brain. And one of the things she talks about in that book, and I highly recommend reading it, it's a wonderful book, is that sometimes the things that we're upset about, that we usually get over it in like 3 minutes. Yes, 3 minutes. And you're wondering, how can that be? But she says it's because we replay these things over and over again, and that we were not letting go of them. So for some people, forgiveness, it can be a long process. And I get that. No one's saying you have to whiz through it. But for some people, it can be a process that doesn't take very long at all. However, whether it takes you a long time or a short time, the point is just as long as you work on moving through that lesson so it doesn't keep showing up again and again. Let's see. Let me just scroll down and see if I missed anyone who wanted a reading. Okay. I'm not seeing any other names, so if I didn't call on you, just feel free to raise your hand and let me know if you'd like a reading for what lesson your soul needs to be learning right now so that you're not challenged by it in 2020. The name of the book is My Stroke of Insight, and it's by Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. Now, as I mentioned, that a couple of tips that I'll be sharing during this live is also about what are some ways that you can create big shifts or epic changes, as I like to say. You might have seen that I have an epic life makeover program for 9 women, because it's in honor of my 9-year anniversary. And we're going to be creating changes in the areas of your mindset, career, relationship, and money. So, and remember, at the end of this live, I'm going to be doing a reading about abundance. So you want to stay tuned for that. So one of the tips that I'd like to share for creating an epic shift in your life, and you may have heard me say this before, but it's about having crystal clear intentions about what it is that you want. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is, if you're not clear on what exactly it is that you want, how do you know where you're going? How do you know what you're working towards? And how does the universe know what it's helping you to co-create? So have a crystal clear vision. Do you want a job in a company, or do you want to start your own business? Do you want to stay in a relationship, or do you want to go? Do you want to relocate, or do you want to stay where you are? So have a crystal clear intention of what it is that you want. There's a great quote that it's one of my favorites, and it's from Carl Jung, and it says, "Your vision will become clear when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." So when you go within to really understand your vision, because sometimes people will look outside of themselves. They might see something that their friend is doing, and I hear this a lot. Oh, my friend is getting married, or my friend is having a baby, or my friend has this great job. But how do you know that that is, and we can all want those things, but your vision at the moment might be something else. It might be your soul is longing to do something, but you're not going within to understand or to uncover what it is that your soul really wants. Maybe that thing that your soul wants, it's part of your dharma, your purpose in life. So really spend some time focusing on your vision. Now, one of the things that I use in my programs, or one of the tools that I use in my program, is a vision statement guide. You can message me and I will email it to you, and you can look at that for some pointers about how to write a clear vision statement. So that's tip number 1. So let's go back and see who else wants a lesson about, wants a reading about what their soul is learning. Okay, again, I'm not seeing any, so, because there's a lot of comments to scroll through. So what I'm going to do in the meantime, before I share my next tip for creating an epic life makeover, is I'm going to do, I know I said I would do this at the end, but I'm going to do one now and then another one at the end, is I'm going to do a reading from the Angels of Abundance. Abundance can be about money, it can be about an abundance of ideas, it can be about an abundance of opportunities, and so on. So let's see what the Angels of Abundance want you to know. Okay, let's see. And the message is successful funding. That's a great message. So successful funding can mean many different things. For example, if you are planning on starting a business and you're looking for funds to do that, this is saying that yes, work on getting successful funding. That can be through a crowdfunding source like GoFundMe or Indiegogo, one of those sites. You can put up a campaign on there. Another meaning of this card is maybe it could just be that someone will back you financially, meaning that they will loan you the money to do so. But another thing about this particular message is that it's validating that the idea you have is a good one, and for you to move forward with it. So if you have an idea for a business or some other idea that requires money, the angels are validating that your idea is a good one. And it's also saying that be proactive and seek out some funding to bring your idea or your vision to reality. Yes, Stephanie, yeah, just message me and I will send you that vision statement guide. So the second tip that I'd like to share for creating a big shift or an epic life makeover in 2020 is to take a leap of faith into the unknown. And I'll tell you, you probably already knew that. What you need to do requires a leap of faith. But here's why this is very important. A lot of times when I work with people, they are afraid of taking that leap of faith into the unknown for the obvious reason. They don't know what they're stepping into. They don't know how things will go. They can't see the path ahead. And that is one of the things that will keep people stuck. They're waiting for all the pieces to fall into place. They're waiting to see the path ahead very clearly. And that is not always known to you. There's something that I have. I'm going to step away just for 1 second because it's calling me. Okay, this is, as I'm sharing that tip, I got this from a friend of mine, and it's from Martin Luther King, and it says, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. And when you step into the unknown, that leap of faith is going to open doors for you. This doesn't mean that you're just going to start doing things without thinking them through, without having a plan and a vision. Of course, you're going to want to do all of those things. Have your vision, have a plan, do your research. And at some point, however, you will need to take that first step. I've seen people do all of the things that they need to do. Again, having the plan, having the vision, doing the research, and then they never actually do anything. They just kind of sit on it. I've done that in my life in terms of just stepping into the unknown. And without me taking those steps, I would still be where I was, which is in a place where I've outgrown, in a place where I knew that it was time for me to move on. So, again, I've said this many times before, including during the session. Call upon the angels to help light the way. One of the angels that you can call upon to light your path, again, is Archangel Uriel. As I mentioned, he is known as a psychology angel, but he also helps to shine the light on the path for you, to shine the light upon things that are missing. He can help to shine the light upon a job or whatever it is that you would like to bring into your life. So take a leap of faith into the unknown, provided that you have a clear vision, a plan, you've done the research, and by all means, take the angels along with you. Okay, who else would like a reading for what lesson your soul is learning right now so that you're not challenged with that lesson in 2020, so you're not dragging it into next year? Let's see. Okay, I'm not seeing any other comments yet. So I'm going to go ahead and move into my readings from the Romance Angels. Again, a lot of people want to know about their love life, whether they are in a relationship or not, whether they are married or not. So let's see what guidance the Romance Angels have for you right now. Let me just say a quick prayer over this one. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Ooh, so the one that is coming up is separation. And the message reads, time apart from your partner is on the horizon. This card has different meanings. One is you might be in a marriage or a relationship right now where your partner is traveling a lot and they may not be home. It's the holidays. You're not feeling good about that. But the angels are saying that you can call upon them to help you to fill the void of any feelings of loneliness that you may have. Another meaning of this card is that You might be separated from your partner right now. Maybe things aren't going well for you at the moment and you've decided to take time apart. And they're saying that it's perfectly okay right now for you to do that. Sometimes time apart does give you alone time to reflect, to contemplate, to heal, to do whatever it is that you need to do to allow that relationship to work. And you can call on the romance angels to help you with getting you through this time. And for some people, this card might mean that you've just gone through a divorce or a breakup, and the angels are saying that they will help you to heal, to move on, and to step into happier new chapters. And what I'm getting from the romance angels is that they have another message for you. So let's see what they want you to know. And the message is trust. I love how these two messages tie together. This situation is calling for you to have faith. So they're saying, so again, see how those two tie together, separation and trust. Separation, you might be going through a rocky time in your relationship, and the angels are saying, trust that everything is working out okay for you. They will go well. And if you're not in a relationship right now and you're looking to be in one, that separation card can have the message of, you may be feeling lonely right now, but trust that in due time, or as the universe wills, that things will flow in a positive direction for you. Okay. And I see a couple people that have just joined. If you want a reading about what lesson your soul is learning right now, feel free to just type in the chat or just raise your hand and let me know, and I'll do a soul lesson reading for you. Again, we're doing readings on what lesson your soul is learning right now, so that you're not dragging that lesson into 2020, or you're not struggling with it or feeling challenged by it next year. When you can learn the lesson, it tends to, it's not repeatedly showing up and you're not repeatedly being challenged by it. And, okay, I'm not sure I'm seeing your name correctly. Magic, sorry if I'm not saying that correctly. So let me go ahead and do your reading for what lesson your soul is learning right now. And the lesson is, this comes up for a lot of people, patience. The message reads, I accept that everything happens in divine order. Now, let me just say that I've pulled this card for this person here, but this is a lesson that shows up for me sometimes. It shows up for a lot of people. We're not patient because we want things to happen right now, right away. Or it's like, oh my gosh, it's already been a year or 2 months or whatever it is, and I'm still waiting for this thing to happen. There is a teaching in A Course in Miracles. That's A Course in Miracles. That's a book that you can also purchase. And one of the teachings says, infinite patience produces immediate results. So the more that you can have patience, the more quickly things will start to flow for you. So patience is something that is your life lesson that you want to make sure that you're not feeling overly challenged by in 2020. Okay, so the next tip that I have to share about creating an epic shift in 2020 is faith. Now, this ties into about taking a leap into the unknown, because when you take that leap, if you're taking that leap without having the faith that this will work out for me, excuse me, you'll wonder to yourself, why does it seem like this is not happening, right? But if, on the other hand, you're having faith that this will happen, what you're thinking and feeling and believing will help you to manifest that which you desire. There are so many ways that you can build upon faith. but we tend to lose faith based on what we're seeing with our physical eyes. Well, that thing over there isn't working out, so I guess it's not going to get any better. It's not going to flow in the right direction. But your imagination, and by the way, that's one of the life lessons, the soul lessons that's in this card, is about your imagination. Your imagination, which is a form of visualizing, when you can use your imagination to see what things will look like, to see how things will unfold for you, that is a way of building on the faith, because you're not looking outside of you at what's happening. You're going within. You're visualizing how you want things to be. And of course, you can use a vision board to take that image out of your head and make it into something that you can actually see. I recently did a reading, I believe it's on my IGTV, and I did a reading from Archangel Gabriel to ask about what message does Gabriel have for you for creating your masterpiece in 2020, creating your life as a masterpiece in 2020. And the message that came up was vision board. It talked about creating a vision board, because what you can see in your mind, and when you can focus on that image, it starts to become your reality. So that is one way of building up faith. Let's see. Please raise your hand if you would like a reading on what lesson your soul is learning right now, if you're just joining us. Okay, so I just see a couple people just joined. If you'd like a free reading on what lesson your soul is learning right now, please type in the comments or raise your hand and let me know, and I'll do a reading for you. So since we have some extra time, let's go back to the Angels of Abundance and ask about, as I said earlier, abundance can be about ideas, opportunities, or money. So in this reading, we're going to talk about, or rather, I'm going to pull a reading for what you need to know about manifesting more money, specifically right now or as you go into 2020. So let's see what guidance the Angels of Abundance have for you. And the message is clearing debts. Clearing debts. Now, this message is first and foremost about the Angels of Abundance are saying, are guiding you to pay down your debts. They want you to focus on that first. So it's about being responsible with the money you already have. And you probably already have ways of doing that. But in this particular message, the angels guide you to start paying down your credit cards. And then with the money that you have left over from that, you can use that to pay down the next credit card. Okay? So it's about being responsible with the money. And what I'm also getting is about being grateful for the money you already have. So gratitude, clearing debts. And the other meaning of this card is that money may also be coming to you, allowing you to pay down the debt you already have. So clearing debts. And let's see what else they want you to know about manifesting more money right now as you go into, oh, that's not the right one. As you go into 2020. And the guidance they have for you is savings. Again, I love how those two messages tie together. Clearing away your debts, being responsible with the money you have by saving for the future. Now, the other meaning of this card as well, because as you can see, almost all these cards have dual meanings or multiple meanings. It can also mean money is coming into your life, and by being responsible with that money and putting some of it aside for your future, you will allow more money to flow into your life. Okay, and as I'm wrapping up, I don't see anyone else requesting a reading for their soul lesson. So I am going to close out with a general lesson for everyone that you need to be focused on for 2020. So let's see what message comes up for you. For a message for creating new beginnings in 2020. And that message is honesty. It reminds me of that Billy Joel song, Honesty is such a lonely word, something along those lines. And the message reads, I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. So this is I would say, a very powerful lesson for you to focus on. First and foremost, having honesty with yourself, excuse me, about what it is that you need to change in your life. What is it that you need to change about yourself? It's about being honest with the people in your life. I heard a great teaching from, I believe it was Iyanla Vanzant, and she said, love the people in your life enough to be honest with them. So this can require having uncomfortable conversations with people sometimes. But being honest with those people in a way that's loving, without being too critical about that person, just having open, honest conversations with these people. So honesty with yourself, honesty with the people in your life. Because if you're not being honest, what you put out in the world is what comes back to you. And don't you want people to be honest with you? Another book that I would recommend is, I believe it's called Assertiveness for Earth Angels by Doreen Virtue. Because some people can have trouble, being honest with someone else, letting them know how they feel. And there are ways to do that without being explosive and creating a lot of drama. And especially if you're a gentle and sensitive person, that may be a good book for you. So it's Assertiveness for Earth Angels by Doreen Virtue. And there's another book, I haven't read it in a while, but I'm pretty sure that you can find some really great tips in there as well. It's called Fierce Conversations. So, you can check out both of these books and see, maybe a little bit from that book might help, a little bit from the other book may help. But I really like that we're ending on the note of honesty, because it's something that we all want, we all need, and it's important to start with yourself, because when you can work on being kind with yourself, being loving with yourself, being gentle with yourself, honest, compassion, it becomes easier for you to do that for the people outside of you. Trust and believe that you deserve the best. Affirm it regularly and daily. I deserve the best, and I accept the best now. Thank you for joining me on this live, and I will post a replay as soon as it becomes available. Thank you.